Ways to grow your small business online. I am Denise Ross, and I am the founder of Wisdom Calls One, which are online programs and conference calls that empower, educate, and support women. And today I am here with Santa, Ed Taylor, who is internationally known internet marketer and coach and speaker, amazing, extraordinaire, superstar for sure. And today we are going to be talking about getting your people that get onto your website, having them do what you want them to do. And that includes if you want them to sign up on your email, or if you want them to hire you, if you want them to buy your product, if you want them to call you, if whatever it is you want them to do, how do you get them to do that? And so, Ed, I am going to let you jump right into it.
Okay.
And tell us that once we've got this site, we know what we want to do, we've got all our people here, we were getting the clicks and clicks, but they're not doing what we want them to do.
Right.
We're not making any money.
Right.
That's ultimate. There's the bottom line right there.
I get it. You know, that's a lot of the people who I work with, a lot of people who call me, that's their challenge. In fact, you know, we could pull up, let me just jump into this real quick. Let's go back to the computer monitor, and we can just look. And here's one of the things that I absolutely love about the internet as a marketing channel today, is that we have these analytics. We have the ability to see, thanks to Google, all for free, exactly what's going on in our website. We can tell how many visitors we get each day. We can tell where those visitors came from. We can tell what pages they looked at, how long they looked at each page. It's really remarkable. And what that allows us to do is it allows us to refine. It allows us to make things better, to increase the likelihood that people actually do take the action that we want them to take while they're on our website. So if we think for a minute, in fact, let me show you another thing while we have the computer live here. Here's a great example. This is a cute little ad, right? A cute little landing page. And this would be a landing page that people would get delivered to if they clicked on an ad, say on Google or on another website. They would click on it and they would land here. And this is cute, and you can see they have a little call to action here. And again, this is a heat map. This shows where eyeballs go. And of course, everybody looks over at the little baby's cute little face. And then they look at the headline and the paragraph, and some go over here. Now, here's why this is so important. This is a test. So this is one version. Now they changed the ad slightly. And they had the baby looking at the content. Okay, now notice what happened. Many, many more eyeballs went over and read the headline, read the paragraph, and took the action.
Wow.
Okay,
wow.
So again, let's go back. So there's landing page A, right? Here is landing page B. And you can see that B is far superior to A.
Right.
And so, and the reason that it's better, the reason that it's more effective is because they understood a psychology. The psychology here is that we tend to look on the internet, and in all cases, we tend to look where the other person's looking, right? So if you were looking over there, I'd look over there too, right? Okay,
right,
that's what we do. And when we look at somebody online or in an ad, we tend to look where they're looking, right? So now it's understanding the psychology. So if we just think for a minute about this internet marketing and about our involvement with it and about getting visitors to our website to really take the action that we want them to take, what we call to convert into a customer, to convert into a subscriber,
right.
to convert into a telephone call. We provide them with what they need in order to convert into any of those things I just mentioned. So here's the challenge. Sometimes we feel that maybe we're being manipulative.
Right.
You know, so that can be a little challenge.
Especially women.
Especially women and all of us. I mean, I have this thought a lot. I study marketing a lot, and some of it to me is frankly repulsive. I mean, I really dislike a lot of the tactics that are being used, especially in retail and in so many different ways. And online, for that matter. Some of it, we were talking earlier around here, and somebody said it was creepy, and I said, yeah, it is. Yeah. I mean, some of it is over the top. And at the same time, there is a sense of what I'm going to call consideration. You've had this, I have, where we go to a website and it's like, couldn't you find a way to more clearly articulate what it is you do? And I mean, in other words, we get there and we're frustrated because they just didn't do a good job in communicating to us what their website's about and what they do.
And what they want us to do.
And what they want us to do.
Right.
We get lost. I was on a website the other day and I wanted to buy something. It's like, where do I buy now?
Yeah.
And it was like so annoying to me. So what I'm getting at is part of this psychology in a way can be interpreted in a way that maybe is a little manipulative. But another way, in a way that I tend to frame this kind of stuff for myself, is it's being considerate.
Right.
It's just being considerate of our visitors. Let's make it easy for them to see what it is that we want them to see and what they want to see, the reason that they're here to begin with. So that, that's kind of part of the process. So we're going to look at a variety of different things that we can do to convert visitors into leads and customers at a higher rate.
Okay.
The other thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at ways to better and more effectively use email. Because email is still, by far, the best medium to connect with people over the internet. More of us we're reading our email on our phone, we read our email on our laptop, on our tablet, we read email on every device we have.
Right.
Okay, email is a powerful, powerful tool, and it's one that we can easily misuse, but what we're going to do is we'll spend a little bit of time on how can we effectively use email as a marketing vehicle. But before we do, we have to get subscribers, right? So let's talk a little bit about that. Let me pull down.
How do we get them there?
Yeah, we get them to the site. Now we want them to do some stuff when they get to the site. So let's look at a few slides real quick. Here's if we pulled that up, good. And I think this mode. I mean, I can make the view bigger, but I think hopefully this is okay. Then I can roll down the slide here a little bit. But let's just look at this ad real quick. So we can see this again, two landing pages or two landing. Well, let me just view this. I'm afraid that maybe people aren't seeing it as fully as we would like. So slide show. Oh, well, that was what I was afraid of. You know what? Let me just escape out of that. Sorry. Let's just stay here. This will work. So here's an example of two landing pages. The first one, what are they doing wrong? See, if you can see up here, this woman is looking off the page, and you have this guy's head back here that's kind of distracting from the text. This one, the woman's pointed towards, she's looking towards the content in the middle, and this guy's image is faded way back behind the text there. 78% more people responded to the second ad, the second landing page. Okay? So that concept is really important. So when we say 78% more people take an action, that's the difference for many small businesses between profits and loss.
Absolutely.
That's the difference between a good day and a bad day, right? So and again, this is psychology that we're talking about. So there's nothing technical, there's nothing internet related to this. This is just understanding when you develop this or you have your web person develop a landing page that you're using the psychology that's going to maximize the likelihood of people taking the action that you want them to take and that they probably want to take if you just made it easy for them to see your message. Right. So here's another little piece of advice here. Here's on this page we can see some buttons. Oftentimes we see things that say submit on the bottom of a form. Sometimes you see them that say clear form or reset or cancel. If you have any of those kind of buttons on your website, take them off. Okay, you don't need any of those. So that's advice one right there. And here's advice two. Consider this. Your button doesn't have to just be small and say submit. This company, Wider Funnel up in Vancouver, British Columbia, they do what's called conversion testing, conversion optimization testing. And what they find is in almost every case, a bigger button in a different color, a color different than what you have, because you usually have color buttons that are the color of the theme of your website.
Right.
They find, and orange, there's a lot of orange on here, and green. It's not that orange or green work particularly better than another color. It's just that they stand out off the page.
Right.
Excuse me real quick. Been talking too much.
You have a lot of information to give us, Ed. That's why.
Sorry.
Nope, no problem.
So that affects your conversions. And, you can put a call to action actually right on the button.
And does that
instead of submit.
Does that get more conversions versus
way
just
more,
okay.
way more.
Okay, instead of buy here.
Instead of submit now or
right.
Submit or something like that, get a free quote now, or download now or something other than submit will often generate more click-throughs. More people will do it. Again, it's kind of like that little baby, right. One looking one way. The ad's about the same. The landing page is about the same. Just a little thing making a big difference. Same thing here. The other thing that we know just in developing a web page that typically our eyeballs go up to the top left in our culture. That's what we're going to see, the headline up there.
That's how we read.
Now, that's how we read, top left. We also know that on a web page, the image of people or anything else, even products, but especially people, our eyeball will go to where the images are. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that the content that we most want people to read is near an image and at the top left of the page in a headline. And if you look closely at this particular image, you can see at the very top there's navigation and there's other stuff up there that people aren't probably even seeing. Their eyeballs going down below, and so oftentimes people have a phone number up there or something else up at the very top.
Get
and
rid
people,
of it.
you need to have it down at the bottom, because that's where people are, that's where they're going, and then you pull them down to do that. So that's a good, another thing that can increase your conversion rate. Here's another way to look at this. Should have turned off those little email alerts. Here's another ad. Now, this is a great landing page. I say ad, but they're landing pages. The ad is delivering people here. But so you look at that and say, that's nice. If somebody developed that for you and your company, you think, oh, wait, that looks good. And it does look good. But look at this one. A little bit different, using the psychology that we're talking about of pulling the eye into the text and making it easy for people to take the action. So let's look again real quick. If you're developing a landing page for anything on your website, that we're going to get visitors to, we want those visitors, in this case, to try it, fill out the form to try it, okay? So what we have here is kind of 3 columns, right? So you see the woman, that we know our eyeball is going to go there, but it doesn't really pull us into the beginning. We'll probably look at that and then maybe look at the agency quality campaigns and then this other column over here. Let's look at the next one. We come over here and look at the image. It pulls us right over. You can put a little arrow. Read this, right? And then they do. And then a big headline up here says, try it free, right? Try it free. And then a little button that says go.
Right,
So so you can see the psychology here is different, right? 300% increase. Okay, again, 300%.
Wow,
this
that's
is a huge difference.
Absolutely
and
huge.
The cost of developing
right.
one page over the other, there's no difference.
Right.
And it's not technical. This is not your webmaster doing something right or wrong.
Yeah.
This is you or your ad person or somebody understanding.
Right.
That's what we're talking about here, is understanding. A lot of people look at me and say, this guy's way too old to be an internet marketing guy, and maybe that's true. I don't know. But here's what I do know. Understanding the psychology of communicating, it wouldn't matter if this is in a newspaper. It wouldn't matter if it was in a flyer. It doesn't matter. What matters is understanding the psychology of how to deliver your message in a way that's going to be most effective. And this is more effective than the other. And that, unfortunately, most of us, when we start doing internet stuff, we think, oh my God, this is all so far over my head. I can't, I just need a web guy to do it all.
Right,
and
absolutely.
a web guy is great. I mean, he learned some programming, he went to school, he learned to make some websites, maybe he has a little graphics background, and he knows how to use Photoshop and make something pretty. What he doesn't have, more likely than not, he or she, they don't understand sales psychology. Yeah. And somebody needs to bring that to the table. So I tell my clients, if you don't have somebody on your team to do that, I'll do it. But what I've just as soon happen is you learn it.
Yeah.
I'll coach you for a while, and this is not, it's not hard.
Yes.
There's a process to learn it, but it's not difficult. You know, I'm not trying to teach you some kind of programming language or something. That might be difficult, although the programmers say that's not difficult either. I don't know. But no, this is really understanding and then walking through a process. Let's look at a couple more real quick.
Get 'em up on
you know, here's another thing. One of the things that we talk about when it comes to website conversions is a thing called friction. People come to a website kind of almost predisposed to not take an action. Right? They're just almost kind of disqualify. I'm interested, but I'm really not going to buy anything. I'm just looking, right? You know, and so what we're trying to do is help people say, yeah, these people are worth looking at a little deeper. You know, yeah, maybe they can help me a little bit. Well, in this case, and this is Petco, this was a published case study, what they did is they said some people are concerned about online commerce. They might be afraid of putting their credit card number in and buying stuff at their store. So they put this little logo at the very bottom of the page. And it says hacker safe. So that just gave people a little comfort. And that boosted conversions by almost 2%. So just by putting that one little logo on there, and they have the hacker safe system, but nobody knows what hacker safe is. It's really just the logo that gives us a sense of comfort.
Yeah, again, psychology.
It's psychology. I mean, but it's not that this is not a real thing. I mean, it is, and it makes things better. So I'm not discounting what hacker safe does, but I'm telling you it's the psychology of the logo that created the result of a 2% boost. But knowing what we did know now about eye tracking and how our eyeballs look, we kind of know that's probably the least, you know, where people would see things at the absolute least, right? The bottom of the page, and it's at the bottom right of the page. So you know, these guys were smart, and they said, well, what if we move that logo over a little bit more into the eye flow? They did that, 8% boost in conversions.
Wow.
8%.
One thing, and that's just moving one thing.
Moved one logo from here to there. And all of a sudden, they're getting 8% more sales.
Wow.
See, this is huge.
It is.
I mean, you know, at the end of the day, the profits are much better. You served people better.
And it didn't cost you
and
anything
it cost
to do.
You nothing.
Yeah.
It's just understanding. Right. This is what I tell people all the time. Yeah. This is not technology.
Right.
This is not your webmaster. This is not any of that. It's understanding. Yeah. It's you going through the process of saying, what do I do? How do I best communicate what I do? What action do I want people to take? How do I best deliver my message so that they'll take that action? This is nothing more than that. Your web guy can make all the technology happen. All that can happen kind of on its own. It's not, you know, this is just understanding. And most of the time, you, the small business person, we need to direct the process.
Right.
Because the people around us don't have this skill set.
And a lot of times with some of the small businesses, they're the ones that are doing all of it.
They are.
Right.
In almost all cases.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And that's
so you
why
have to be on top of it.
You have to know this stuff because it makes the difference between struggling, right, and struggling. You know, and just you know, every day being a pain to develop new customers.
Right.
If we make our website something that we can really. It can be our salesperson. It can be our agent.
I like that. Yeah, I like the sound of that, especially for some of the women. It's very hard to market your product when your product is you.
Right.
And so if you can look at your site as in, that's my agent.
Yeah.
It separates you from your business, and it separates you from yourself, which is helpful.
It's perfect, and that's exactly right. Let's look at a couple more real quick.
Yeah.
So I mean, I hope this is valuable because you know, I mean, when something boosts your conversion by 8% or 10% or 300%. It's really important. Look at here's another one. Great two little landing pages. One of them, again, they put the little hacker safe logo up beside that. And in this case, the conversions went up. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was like 18 or 20%.
Wow.
By just putting the little logo there. And it doesn't have to be hacker safe. You know, again, on this first one, they put the little risk-free there, and that probably boosted the conversion by 15 or 20% as well.
Wow.
Okay, and where do they have it? Right near the form, right where people are taking the action. Okay, not up here in the header or somewhere far away, right there where people can see it. Here's another example, and this is a page that's maybe a good kind of a sales page. You have information on there and your little logo and all your stuff. But what it's missing at the bottom is the call to action.
Right.
What do you want people to do? Right? So there's, again, the before, the after. You need the form. So what we want to do is we want to explain what we do, what we're about, why they should care, and then what should they do. And make it really, really easy. Okay, and that, you know, why not? Why make it difficult? You make it easy. Easy
Right.
works better here. A couple more real quick. You know, here's one. You know, two landing pages. You know, this one. You know, look. You know, a style change. Then this one. So here's again that one. So between the two, this one, and the one on the bottom, the one with the green box that kind of stands out more and a little less content in it. Nearly 90% increase in form fills.
Wow.
So more people,
Wow.
90%, almost double the number of people fill the forms out. So when people, you know, when they come to me and they say, you know, internet marketing doesn't work, or I can't make any of this stuff work, it's just you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't mean that in a way that you're, you know, you just don't understand the psychology involved in doing it in a way that will increase the results.
Right.
And so this, I hope that people are can see, and you can do this. Somebody, you.
Yeah.
You can do this, I promise. I mean, it's just really understanding the process. So I hope that the viewers, I don't want to lose anybody here,
Right.
because this is not difficult. You sketch it all on a piece of paper if that's the best way to do it.
Right.
Tell your webmaster that this is what I need.
Right, because this isn't the technical part.
It's not
And if
technical.
you can get this information and get it down, then yeah, you can go to your webmaster, your whole site. It may not completely change, but who comes and what they do will completely change.
Exactly right. It's just understanding the little
Yeah.
things. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, we have clients. I'm blessed. I've been working with a lot of people for a long time, and I'm really fortunate, blessed. I love what I do, and I love who I do it with. And it's kind of the way I am. If I didn't, I wouldn't do it.
Right.
I mean, you know, the evidence for me is the fact that I'm doing what I do. Otherwise, I just wouldn't do it. But that said, the biggest thing that people see after they've been working together on this for a while
Right.
is that it's not difficult.
Right.
You know,
right.
it's really not hard. It's really simple. It's really just changing your mindset. It's
Yeah.
going at things, writing a blog post that has keywords in it, that understands the objective. Know that you're going to put it up on Facebook or LinkedIn or share it somewhere, and it's going to pull people in. And when they get there, we're going to educate them. We're really going to give them value.
Right.
But the holder of that, the website, if they bounce off of our blog post and navigate to another place on our site, that's where we have the shot at engaging them further. And we don't have to engage them today. You know, they don't have to convert today. They don't have to become a customer today. They don't have to call this time. I've given hundreds and hundreds of seminars, in fact, thousands. And I know in my intro you said 1,500 something. It's really closer to like 2,500 today. I've done a ton of them. You know, there was a time where I was the most requested internet marketing speaker in the country. I was doing 80, 90, 100 seminars a year. I was doing a ton of them.
Wow.
And this was in the 98, 99, 2000, 2001, in those years in there, I still do a lot, but I have people that I engaged with at a seminar, 10 years ago, 11 years ago, that have subscribed to my stuff, still are subscribers, and they've become customers. I mean, every month I probably get somebody that I have that hasn't seen me, hasn't been engaged with me in a personal way for, years. And all of a sudden, they get something, the timing's right for them. They pick up the phone call. Hey, Ed, I know you don't remember me, but I met you at a seminar back in 2004, and now I'm ready to do something.
Right.
That's what we're talking about. It's building a business.
And through email, as you
Through
said.
email. So now, again, I mentioned with my blog posts earlier. So on my blog post, I write a blog post, and it automatically goes out to Twitter and LinkedIn and Facebook. The other thing that it automatically does is it goes out to all of my subscribers. Okay, so it goes out to by email. So it goes out to not just RSS feed, but it goes out via email. So let's talk a little bit about email too, because I think that's a really, really important topic.
Right, it is.
Yeah. So let me go through. Let's just feed this right here. So we can pull up this little quote, and I don't really like using quotes a whole lot in my presentations, but Seth Godin's a big guy. Everybody knows the name. Written great books in permission marketing. It's been around for a while now. He says email is the most personal advertising medium in history. If your email isn't personal, it's broken.
Okay.
That's right. I mean, that to me, I talked in the beginning, about this idea of relationship marketing.
Right.
That's what this is about. And it's not about spam. It's not about even promoting yourself. If you come to email with the mindset saying, how can I give you more value? If I know you, and this is how I write my blog posts, I think of my customers, my subscribers, the people who I work with, and say, what have I learned this week? What experience have I had that I know a lot of my subscribers would benefit from? And then I identify a thing. Well, I just had this experience with so-and-so, and I might tell about a certain client that I had, or something that I just saw in one of these case studies. I subscribe to a ton of stuff and get a lot of emails. I might share something that I learned in something that I subscribe to. And I say, what value? How do I put this in my own words, my own way, and make it so Denise will benefit from this?
Right.
And when I write my posts, I do that.
Right.
I use a guy named Jim Cecil. Jim is a longtime friend of mine, and every time that I write something, I put Jim. I start with Jim up at the top.
Yeah.
Jim. And then I go, and so I'm writing it to him.
Yeah.
And then then I think Jim's not going to get that, and then I have to refine it, then I have to
and then plus you got to take Jim's name off of the top.
Yeah.
Because we're not all named Jim.
That's right. And that's right. Then we switch it all around. But the idea here is understanding how important email is. Now, I just did a blog post. In fact, I think it was that one that we pulled up here earlier today, that was talking about the increasing the open rate of your emails. In fact, let me see if I think that was what that was. Let's see if I can pull that up real quick.
Yeah, a couple minutes. And then
we got a couple of minutes. Let's go over here. I call my blog Free Tips. By the way, you don't have to call your blog a blog. You can call it anything you want.
Nice.
I call mine Free Tips. And here's what it is. Email subject line strategy boosts responses by 541%.
Wow.
This is a blog post that just went up. Today's the 10th, right?
Yes.
It went up today.
Yeah.
Okay. So, this is a fresh off the presses, so to speak. And so here's what it says. Clarity trumps creativity. Be clear.
Yeah.
And so often, here's an example. Here's something that's clear. Grow your email list 99% faster. How one site did it. That's a clear email. Here's creative. Selling digital, the perfect last-minute Christmas gift. Getting earth-friendly beyond email. Those sound good, and I could see myself and you and us writing things like that.
Yeah.
But what we know is
what works.
500% better if you just say, email timing, look at 6 marketers. Tell them what you're doing, and again, why would they care if they're into email marketing, and it says email timing, look at 6 marketers? We kind of have a hunch we might learn something.
Right.
We're kind of hooked in a little bit.
Yeah.
So this kind of idea, this concept of understanding that email is important first.
Right.
And so we just have to really look at it and say, how can I cause my subscriber or my visitors to my website to subscribe? What can I offer them that they're going to love to get, and that you can fulfill? And me, I know this is a commitment. I have to write a blog post. I tend to do my blog posts, in the beginning, by the way, I did them once a day. Mm-hmm. I did once a day for almost a year, and that was my commitment, my discipline to myself, and most of them were short at that time. But I just wanted to get a lot of content early, and I did. And then I moved it back, and people say, well, isn't that crazy if your visitor, if your subscribers are getting an email a day, doesn't that just tick them off? Don't they all unsubscribe from that?
Yeah.
Some do.
Yeah.
But it's a challenge to me. So my challenge is, how can I make my email so interesting, so compelling, so educational
that they'll click on it every day?
They look forward to it.
Yeah.
I wonder what Ed's going to say today.
Exactly.
See, that challenges me to really be good. Right? Now I got to a point where I just didn't want to keep up with it at that pace anymore. So now I do somewhere in the area of 2 a week typically, and they're typically longer now, a little bit more detailed. So that's kind of the way that I personally approach it. And there's a lot of different ways. Again, we talked about and we looked at briefly the analytics. Well, what we now have is this ability to see how many people click on your emails, how many of them go to the page that's referenced in your emails.
Right.
We can look at all this stuff.
And then you begin tweaking.
We begin tweaking. We can tell which days, for example, are a better day to send emails on. I just wrote an email last night for a client of mine, and it helped them get it all set up. And we thought, do we send it last night? Do we send it on Monday? When do we send it? Well, now I have enough history with enough other clients that I recognize that Saturdays, and Sundays for that matter, but Saturdays are a really good open day. A lot of people open emails
Okay.
on Saturdays.
Yeah, because they have the time.
They have the time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and they'll actually read through them.
they'll read through. The click-through rates are often higher.
Right.
So here's the beauty. One is we can identify. We have the technology to recognize when do people open the most. And then we also recognize, do they click? Did we present our message in a way? And again, I should address this with the email real quick. The purpose of an email, from my perspective, is not to deliver the whole message. The purpose of the email is to deliver just enough to get them to click over to the website. Again, right? Why?
Okay,
Why?
right.
Our website's our salesperson,
That's
right?
right.
We want to use our email not as our salesperson.
Right.
Our email's just to give people some value. But what we want to do is give them a part of the value, and then and pique their curiosity enough where they click. And they come over to our website to get the rest of the message. Maybe they watch the video or read whatever comes after that first paragraph. You know,
Right.
you've seen that in the email.
Right.
Click here to read more.
Right.
They click there, they read more, they're back on our website.
Okay.
Okay, and our website, again, it does the conveying of who we are, what we do, why they should care, what action they should take.
Right.
So we're in that process. And if we can continue to do that, then we can really be effective. We can really be good, and we can challenge ourselves. You know, and I love that. I'm always up for a good challenge, right?
Yeah.
But we can really challenge ourselves to provide good value, and that I love that, and it makes me a better person.
Right.
You know, I mean, I don't even think about my own personal sales anymore, and maybe that's, you know, kind of I would say maybe it's because I have some level of customers and all that, but it's not that. I've always been this way. It is. I want
Giving
to
value,
give the value,
educating,
and it will come back to me, and it will come
Right.
back to the viewers here. If you just concentrate on giving value,
Right.
and if that's your approach, and then make sure your website's an effective salesperson.
Yes.
You know, because you do need that salesperson, but not in your emails.
Okay.
You know, let it come to your website.
Okay, so that's good to know. It's
Boom.
not in the email, right?
Not in the
Yeah.
email.
Well, and I think, is that a pretty good place to wrap up? I love the value. That is the most important thing overall. With emails, with websites is where you want them to take the action, but everything else around that, gear it towards the value. What value are you giving
That's
your
right.
customers?
If you think
Yeah.
of all these people, like
Okay.
if you're writing your emails, writing your website, writing your blog posts, writing everything to a friend, to
Right.
somebody that you want to help. If I looked at it and say,
Yeah.
you know, Denise needs a little help with this, that, or the other thing, and if I have that in my mind as I'm writing this, then that's all I need. And then
Yeah.
at the end, you know, sometimes I provide a value of some sort, get a free this or a free that or
Right.
something to get them over to the website. You know, or just
Okay.
to give the rest of the information.
Right.
But for the most part, if you have that mindset, it's just going to work for you.
Okay,
So,
great.
yeah.
And it is. It's time to end the program. Again, Ed, I want to thank you so much for joining us. To let everybody know, Ed is the superstar of internet marketing. If you've heard this program, you understand that. Connect with Ed. Hit his website. Give him a call. He wants you to call him. Call him, everybody.
Okay.
We'll get that phone ringing for him. And connect with me if you're a female entrepreneur. If you would, we have programs to help women entrepreneur and business people ongoing. And I would also like to thank everybody here at RVTV for allowing us to film here, and all of the crew. They're my buddies, so high five, big shout out to everybody here. And thanks again for joining us, and connect with Ed. Thanks. Bye-bye. Or not.
Good.